Okay, so first of all, hi, my name is Michaela, and I just wanted to document me trying to figure out how to learn how to crochet flowers. So, something I noticed with some of the crochet videos is it's a lot of people who are experts, and that's fantastic. But sometimes it's disheartening for people like me who are trying new things or people who are new into crocheting, watching people do these patterns and do these things because they never really show the, oh, I messed this up, I need to redo this, or oh, let me try this stitch. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So this is a transparency thing. Now, that being said, you might see me do the same part over and over again because this is a new skill and a new pattern that I've never done before. So I'm going to mess up on it. Now, I am going to try, because the original pattern that I found is for a size 2 hook. This is a, hold on. I don't know how you can read this. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out how to film and everything, so let me get better. Is it backwards? Help it build. But anyways, I'm trying to make it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out angles and everything, so bear with me. I hope y'all can see that. But that's a 3. I have tried to do this pattern with a 2, and I'm struggling because I'm not used to doing something with that small of a hook. So I'm going to try with a 3. But don't worry, I only got to like the second row in the first pattern with the size 2. So the rest of the pattern is still very new to me. So the first thing you do is you make a magic circle. So a magic circle is where you're gonna do 6 stitches or loops. I might call them stitches or loops because in my brain I first learned them as loops until I learned the terminology because I am self-taught. So I'm gonna do 6. So one trick that I found when you do the magic thing is, so instead of putting the yarn here and making it really tight, slide it down a little bit because you're gonna be working in these loops, and if you make them a little looser, it's easier to get the hook back in to do the rest of the work with it. So, fun fact. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now that we have your, didn't help that I picked one of the darkest colors. Let me see, does that help a little bit? Okay, anyways, so we have the 6 thingies, the 6 stitches or loops, whichever one you want to call them. You're going to then take, so if we do it straight like this, you may not be able to see it, but you're going to take this loop right here, the back loop, and you're going to take this loop and put it into this loop. I hope that makes sense. So like, you're basically making a circle. Okay. And then ta-da, we got ourselves a circle. See how it went from a line to a circle? This is what you want. Okay, now I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because, like I said, I picked very dark yarn to do this. But the next row, we're going to do what they call a single crochet increase. Now I had to look this up because I didn't know what it was, so if you don't know what that is, I'm on the same team. But essentially what it is you're doing a single crochet. So you're going to go into your next hook or your next loop like so. Do your single crochet. So that means you're going to do one. And then the single crochet increase is in the same hole that you just did this one. You're going to do it in that same, you're going to do another single crochet in that hole. I hope I'm making sense. If not, let me know. I'm a little nervous. Okay. And the goal for the single crochet increase is you want to increase the number of loops that you have, because you're going to make it bigger, basically. So you're going to do that all the way around. And I'm not going to fast forward into the finished product because I think that it's important for people who are new to see kind of the process of putting them in each step. And also, I don't know how to do that quite yet. So while I'm doing this, I guess I should probably introduce myself a little better. Like I said, my name's Michaela. I'm a high-functioning autistic woman who taught herself how to crochet 3 years ago. I've always wanted to learn how to crochet because my grandmother loved to crochet. Unfortunately, she passed before I got to teach her, or before she got to teach me. But I've always wanted to learn. I own cats, so this is Miss Wednesday. They will probably interrupt and just be on front of the screen because they're cats. It's Wednesday. You're a good girl. Why I chose to learn how to do flowers is because I own cats, obviously, and when you own cats, you cannot own, like, glass stuff, especially, like, flower vases, because they will eat them off the counter, and glass will end up broken. Cats typically try to eat flowers, so then you have to be really careful what type of flowers you bring in, because some things that are not toxic to humans are toxic to them. When I lived with my previous roommate, she used to do flowers, like she used to get flowers, and it was always a problem because the cats would try to drink out of it. They would try to eat the flowers, knock the vase over. But that being said, I still like flowers, you know, and I still want to have like a beautiful home. And since I know how to crochet, I figured, why not learn how to do crochet flowers? So that way I can still get flowers, like beautiful decorations, but they're cat friendly, because that's very important to me. The other thing that I will suggest when you're looking at the estimated time for a project, because a lot of patterns will have it, this will take 30 minutes or 3 hours or da. Those are for more of the experts that have done the pattern before. If you are a complete newbie or you have very low skill, did you find a camera, Miss Wednesday? Okay. It'll take you longer, just being honest. And that's okay. Don't let that discourage your pattern or your projects and your value of yourself and of your skill. It's also okay if you have to redo stuff, because like I said before, especially if this is a new skill or a new pattern, you're not gonna get it perfect on your first try, and that's okay. That's kind of the fun part about crocheting, is you're learning as you go. But anyways, yeah, always loved crocheting, taught myself. It took me 3 days because my sister taught me the mechanics to finger crochet, which is where you crochet without the hook. Good thing is I learned the basics of crocheting. Bad part was it took me 3 whole days to figure out how to hold a hook and how to get the hook into the yarn. So, and I also, apparently, when I watch other people when they crochet, I use more of my hands to pull stuff in, where they use more of the hook, and that's because I learned first with my fingers than with the hook. So for me, the hook is more of just like a placeholder, and my hands do all the work. That's just how I figured out how to do it. So the technique, I guess what I'm trying to say is the technique will look different from people to people depending on how you were taught, how your hand shapes are, you know. Like, for example, I use more of the plastic versus metal hooks because I have very small hands, and the metal hooks are typically more chunky and they're kind of a little bit more heavier, so it's more burdensome for me to use. I will say there are different shapes that you can learn how to do, and my brain really likes stuff that are circles, so you'll probably see me do a lot of circle ones because I just like circles. They're actually what I taught myself how to do first on accident. I was trying to learn how to do one row and then continue the next row, and I messed up and ended up making a circle, and I've worked them ever since. don't know if this needs to be closer or further away. I'm still trying to figure out logistics. And then it'll probably be later on, but I would really like to crochet and tell like history stories. But I'm still playing around with the format because I don't know if it's better to do like a more overview, like in this year of 1800s, this, and this happened, or if it would be more interesting to go more in depth into like the people who were born and what they did in their life, people who died, if a battle happened, like the details of the battle. I don't. So let me know if you're interested, which part of that format that you would prefer. Because I'm not sure what would be more interesting, to be honest. I love history, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but I do. Okay, I got one more stitch, and then we're gonna hit the top of the row. Also, I'm probably gonna break this video, like this project, into multiple videos, so that way you guys don't have to watch like a 5-hour video or whatever, because I don't think y'all want to do that. Okay, so now that we've got to the top of the row, we're gonna call what they do slip stitch, and what that is you just go to the top. So I don't know if y'all can see it. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see, so I'm just gonna describe it. So you take the last stitch that you were doing, and you take it to the top one. So you put both of those on the hook, and then you just slide the hook down, and then tighten. That's your slip stitch. Okay, so the next one is you're gonna chain one. So we're gonna add a stitch or a loop. And then we're going to do a single crochet and then a stitch increase all the way around. So what that basically means is you're going to have 3 single crochets in each loop slash stitch. Again, I'm not going to fast forward because I don't know how to do that. Also, I'm trying to figure out how to do it, but I'm trying to figure out how to live stream, because I think that would be more interesting. So then that way you guys could give me feedback in real time instead of me having to film and then upload. But I haven't figured out how to do it yet, so I will try to figure that out. I'm going to try to figure it out this weekend, but no promises. I will say one thing that I have noticed that I'm going to do, because I'm going to do other flowers, is the thinner the yarn is, the better, because some of the problems I'm having is the yarn is thicker than the hook is, and so it's hard to get the yarn, or the hook through it. So I would say if you're gonna make a flower... Oh, by the way, I didn't even tell you what flower we're making. Sorry, my bad. We're making roses. We're starting with purple because I have purple yarn. I'm gonna get some red yarn. Maybe some yellow, I don't know. Maybe some pink. But definitely gonna do red. But yeah, we're just starting with purple because I had yarn left over from a project. And so I was like, well, I might as well use what I got. That and my boyfriend's favorite color is purple, so I can give him this when I get done with it, and he'll put it up in his house. It'll be cool. Sorry, I make mouth noises when I can't get the hook to go through or whatever. But my love of history came from, I'm the middle kid. So I had a brother that was 7 years older than me, and then I had a little sister that was 13 months younger than me. And my brother, because he was so much older than me, he was more knowledgeable than me. And so he would leave his school textbooks on the kitchen table when he'd get done doing homework, mostly history. And I would read them because I didn't like the fact that he knew more than me. And from reading all the history books and stuff, it just made me fall in love with history. I became obsessed with the idea of world history around, I think it was 19. By the way, I didn't mention I'm 26, by the way, so I know I look like a child. Not a child. But in saying that, when I was 19, I became obsessed with world history, but the small private college that I went to didn't do world history. They only did like literature history or like different civilizations, but it was very limited and only went up to like the 1700s. And so I've been trying to educate myself on world history because I like to live my life where every day I learn something new. So since I don't know much about world history, I've been really into it and trying to learn and understand it and try to figure out how to pronounce things because some of those names I'm not used to. I don't know, should I be bringing it closer? Also, y'all can be mean in the comments. You won't hurt my feelings. Because I know this probably isn't the best quality lighting, stuff like that. But I am trying to figure it out as I go. So all feedback is good feedback in my brain, even negative ones. So, do you? I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because I keep looking over and I can just see black void over my shoulder from where the cat is. Another thing that I love to try to learn is I'm trying to learn philosophy. I found a book at Goodwill. It's a philosophy book, and I've been trying to learn how to read it. Not sure if it would be interesting, but I could go over what I learned in that book, if anybody. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out the format of the show. So any suggestions would be great. Because I don't want to make something that no one enjoys watching, you know. I also don't know what's a good, like, video length. Like, I don't know if you want more long or short. So I think what I'm going to do on this one is I think I'm going to finish, like, the rows that we're on and then kind of do more of a shorter one and then kind of see if you guys want longer or shorter, because I don't want to bore you guys with like a 5-hour video of just me trying to crochet and figure out how to do a flapper, unless y'all want to see that, but I don't know. Oh, and if you want details about Miss Wednesday, she is, I'm trying to think, she is chill. Her full name is Wednesday Tuesday Adams. I got her in September with her brother. Fun fact, in their mother's litter, she was 1 out of 2 black cats. All the rest of them was a tabby red like the mom. I own 4 cats in total, so that's why I said you'll see cats. I have 2 black cats. I've got Wednesday's brother Moby, who is a tabby, and then I have my old man Earl, and he is a gray cat. Well, he's gray on the top, and then his the bottom of his fur is turning like a brownish orange. But their full names is Earlith Grayeth Bird, or Earl Burl for short. I'm not sure how old he is. We found him on the side of the road, so he actually got hit by a car before he came. We saw him get hit. We rolled down the window to check up on him and be like, "Are you okay?" And he jumped through our car window, and he's been with us ever since. Then we have October, and her full name is October Binks, and she was originally owned by a friend of my sister. Well, on the first day of October, the lady couldn't have the cat anymore, so we got her, and so that's why she's named October. And then her middle name is Binks because my sister's favorite movie is Hocus Pocus, and she always likes to say that October reminds her of the cat in that movie whose name is Binks. So she's... And then Wednesday, of course, is Wednesday, Tuesday Adams. And then her brother is Moby Richardson Dick. Or Moby Dick for short. Because he has what looks like a penis on his forehead. And so that's what my sister named him, and he answers to it, so that's what his name is. But yes, I love my cats. Love to crochet, love history, and I love philosophy. So, I can name those things. Hi! You know, people used to tell me that crocheting is very therapeutic. Sometimes I don't understand how that is, because sometimes the yarn be yarning, as I like to say it, or the yarn's being ornery, and it ends up making everything harder than it really needs to be. Okay, I'm gonna slip stitch this next one so we can end the row. Wait, no, I don't need to slip stitch that one just yet, I don't think. Oh man, my yarn's starting to, you probably can't see it, but my yarn's starting to split on the hook because my hook is tiny and the yarn is thick. Thick yarn is good for some things, but when you're trying to make tiny details in a flower, not so much. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 rows each video. Unless y'all want longer, we can do longer. I don't want to bore you guys with long videos. It's not gonna be entertaining for you. So yeah, slip stitch to the last one. I'm gonna show you the front and the back. If I can get this thing to focus. Let's see, maybe. Again, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to do stuff, so not bad. This isn't great. Let me do that. Again, just trying to figure out. No, that's too far. Just trying to turn this like light thing I have on, but it's red, so I don't want it to get. Okay, but that's the front. You can tell. See that like texture? That's what we're working with right now. And then this will be the back of it. Again, sorry this isn't the best video quality. I'm still trying to figure everything out. But thank you for watching. Hopefully that wasn't too boring. Miss Wednesday, do you want to say bye? Miss Wednesday. Want to say bye? You can say bye like that. Okay, well she says bye. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully it wasn't painful for y'all. Sorry I'm awkward. But yeah, let me know if there's any suggestions. If you want history or philosophy, or you just want me to shut up and crochet. Do you want short or long? Just let me know. Bye.